Ever thought bananas and humans had something in common? Or that sharks are older than trees? Stick around as we uncover the wildest facts that'll blow your mind. 1. In an event that seems almost too unimaginable, Londoners, on the brink of World War II, voluntarily killed over 400,000 of their beloved pets in a single month. As tensions with Germany rose, the British government feared a strain on resources. To ease the burden on food supplies and public resources, citizens were asked to put down their dogs and cats, most of whom were left to face an untimely death. The horror of this massacre is still a difficult chapter in British history. 2. Taiwan holds one of the highest oral cancer rates in the world. The reason behind this epidemic lies in a culturally significant but dangerous habit: chewing betel nuts. This carcinogenic nut is typically consumed by blue-collar workers and indigenous Taiwanese communities for its stimulant properties. Despite being discouraged by health experts, betel nuts remain a widespread practice in the country, contributing significantly to the oral cancer rates. 3. China began developing nuclear weapons and even began building nuclear submarines before they had the infrastructure to mine uranium. This leap in ambition speaks to the country's determination to bolster its military capabilities, regardless of the technological or material barriers it faced at the time. 4. Did you know that the actor who played the master and the actress who portrayed the wife in the iconic film Hocus Pocus were actually siblings in real life? The fact that they played characters with no family relation in the film is a fascinating piece of behind-the-scenes trivia. 5. In the 1950s, the CIA resorted to bribing Egypt's president to persuade him to join the Middle East Defense Organization. Despite accepting a hefty bribe of $3 million, the president refused to honor the agreement. 6. For anyone in the United States with the proper resources to house and care for one, you can apply to adopt a wild horse through the Wild Horse and Burro program. It's an effort by the Bureau of Land Management to prevent overpopulation of wild horses, which often leads to starvation and disease in the wild. 7. A blue moon refers to the rare occurrence when there are 2 full moons within a single calendar month. Statistically, this event occurs once every 2.7 years, making it a special sight to behold for skywatchers everywhere. 8. One of the most significant disruptions to international trade occurred when the Suez Canal, a vital maritime trade route, was closed for 8 years between 1967 and 1975. The closure followed the Six-Day War, costing billions of dollars in global trade losses and presenting a stark reminder of the strategic importance of this waterway. 9. Zach LaVine, the NBA star known for his incredible jumping ability and skills on the court, achieved the impossible by winning back-to-back MVP titles in a boys' Pee Wee Hockey League. While not a professional win, LaVine's dominance in his youth league set the stage for his future basketball successes. 10. Frozen in 30,000-year-old permafrost, scientists found viruses like Pandora viruses and various bacteria still alive. 11. Mary Surratt was the first woman to be executed by the U.S. federal government. She was convicted for her alleged involvement in the assassination plot against President Abraham Lincoln. 12. Otis Redding's soulful ballad, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, became a cultural touchstone, but tragically, it was recorded just days before Redding's fatal plane crash. Not only did the song become one of the most iconic tracks in American music history, but it also became the first posthumous #1 single in the United States. 13. In a heartfelt move, an autistic father of an autistic son quit his day job to run a Minecraft server specifically for autistic individuals. This server provided a safe and bullying-free environment for members of the autism community to socialize, connect, and enjoy a shared experience. 14. The last Republican mayor of Chicago, Big Bill Thompson, was elected in 1927. Notably, he maintained an open alliance with notorious gangster Al Capone. In fact, after Thompson's victory, his supporters flooded a speakeasy run by Capone and the building sank under the weight of the crowd, adding a bizarre footnote to Chicago's storied political history. 15. The creation of Ford's iconic 428 Cobra jet engine was purely accidental. What began as a mishap involving a careless mechanic and a blown engine turned into one of the most powerful engines in automotive history. The resulting mishmash of components worked so well that Ford decided to mass-produce the engine, marking a defining moment in performance car history. 16. While not often thought of, churches can and do purchase insurance to cover lawsuits related to abuse and inappropriate touching. The fact that such lawsuits are a part of church finances highlights the serious and often tragic issues that institutions have faced in recent decades. 17. Street Hildegard of Bingen, a medieval polymath, created her own constructed language complete with an entirely new alphabet and vocabulary. The language, based on Latin and Middle German, is one of the earliest examples of a constructed language. However, its purpose remains largely unknown. 18. In Japan, it's possible to hire someone whose job it is to apologize on your behalf. Whether it's for a personal or professional situation, these apology services are highly regarded, offering individuals a way to maintain social harmony and avoid conflict. 19. A study of autopsy results found that the average age of death for people with tattoos was significantly younger minus 39 years old, compared to non-tattooed individuals who lived to an average age of 53. Interestingly, the presence of a tattoo was considered more significant than the content of the tattoo itself in determining the reduced life expectancy. 20. The loudness war refers to the trend in the music industry, particularly in the 1980s through the 2000s, where producers and broadcasters increased the audio levels of albums and songs to make them seem louder. This trend led to complaints from consumers about the distortion of sound, and eventually, the Calm Act was passed to regulate maximum broadcast sound levels. 21. Welsh poet Dylan Thomas's death in 1953 led to an unusual incident involving his widow. While transporting his body from New York to Wales, she discovered that a group of sailors was unknowingly using his coffin as a card table. Not wanting to disturb the sailors, she quietly allowed them to continue, believing that her husband would have found humor in the situation. 22. In 1974, Cleveland Browns fans faced backlash when they started throwing paper airplanes at their team's games. When a lawyer made a complaint about it, the team's lawyer responded by sending a letter stating, "I feel that you should be aware that some hole is signing your name to stupid letters." The cheeky response became a piece of Cleveland sports legend. 23. It may surprise many, but the Beatles were not legally dissolved as a band until 1974. The dissolution process was finalized when John Lennon signed the last contract while vacationing at Disney World in Florida, a fact that adds another quirky twist to the band's already fascinating history. 24. In medieval times, peasants were often given an unusually high number of holidays. These holidays were typically between 8 weeks and half a year, and the church viewed frequent rest as essential to keeping the workforce from revolting. 25. Mel Blanc, the legendary voice actor behind beloved characters like Bugs Bunny and Porky Pig, has a gravestone that reads, "That's all, folks." This phrase, famously associated with his portrayal of Porky Pig in the Looney Tunes cartoons, is a fitting tribute to the man of 1,000 voices. 26. In the late 19th century, a man named Emmerich Juttner was able to evade the U.S. Secret Service for a decade by using counterfeit $1 bills, which were so poorly produced that they often misspelled Washington's name. Juttner would only use one counterfeit bill at a time and would never go to the same place twice. Eventually, he was caught and served 4 months in prison. 27. In the early 20th century, the idea of using milk as a substitute for blood during emergency transfusions was tested. While there were occasional successes, the practice was eventually deemed too risky and was abandoned by the medical community. 28. British Airways offers a Flying with Confidence course designed to help people overcome their fear of flying. Remarkably, this course has a success rate of 98%, helping thousands of people conquer their anxiety and enjoy air travel. 29. As delicious and healthy as grapes and raisins are for humans, they are highly toxic to dogs. Even small amounts can cause severe kidney damage, making them a danger to your four-legged companions. 30. Did you know that there are more museums in the United States than McDonald's and Starbucks combined? There are over 35,000 museums across the country, compared to only 14,000 McDonald's and 16,000 Starbucks locations. 31. In a bizarre twist of corporate espionage, a Coca-Cola secretary offered to sell the company's trade secrets to Pepsi. Instead of agreeing to the deal, Pepsi alerted Coca-Cola, and the secretary was sentenced to 8 years in prison for attempting to sell company secrets. 32. The Tiffany problem refers to a historical or realistic fact being deemed anachronistic. This phenomenon is named after the modern name Tiffany, which was originally medieval in origin, but is now considered modern due to its common use. 33. Selena Gomez received a kidney transplant from her friend Francia Reza in 2017 due to complications from lupus. The fascinating part of the story is that Gomez named her kidney Fred after Fred Armisen, the actor and creator of her favorite TV show, Portlandia. 34. A study suggested that 30 to 50% of the population lacks an internal narrative or monologue. However, this is debated in the psychological field. 35. The largest pyramid in the world by volume is not the Great Pyramid of Giza, but the Great Pyramid of Cholula in Mexico. With a volume of over 4.4 million cubic meters, this pyramid outshines its Egyptian counterpart. 36. Dead languages like Latin, Hebrew, and even extinct languages from ancient civilizations have been revived in modern times. Hebrew, for instance, has been reintroduced as the official language of Israel after centuries of being considered a dead language. 37. The phenomenon of coral bleaching is a direct result of climate change. Without this algae, the corals can die, leading to devastating effects on marine ecosystems. 38. In ancient times, some cultures used the skulls of horses as mirrors. A unique cultural artifact, the practice was believed to protect the user from evil spirits while simultaneously providing practical utility. 39. While humans and bananas may seem worlds apart, we share around 60% of our DNA with them. This doesn't mean that we are genetically similar to bananas, but rather that many of our basic biological processes are shared across life forms, demonstrating the commonality of life's molecular building blocks. 40. Sharks have been around for about 400 million years, while trees first appeared around 350 million years ago. This means that sharks predate the rise of the first trees, making them one of Earth's oldest surviving creatures. Their design has evolved remarkably little, maintaining an ancient and highly successful blueprint. 41. The Eiffel Tower, constructed from iron, expands and contracts with temperature changes. During the summer, as the metal heats up, the tower can grow by up to 6 inches. The phenomenon is an interesting reminder of how materials change with temperature, even in massive structures. 42. In botanical terms, bananas are classified as berries, while strawberries are not. This surprising fact stems from the different ways in which the plants grow and develop. True berries come from a single flower with one ovary, and bananas fit this definition, whereas strawberries do not. 43. The mudskipper is a type of fish that can walk on land, using its pectoral fins to propel itself across the ground. These amphibious creatures live in mudflats and are adapted to thrive both in water and on land, defying the typical image of fish being strictly aquatic. 44. Cleopatra VII, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt, lived around 2,000 years ago. The pyramids were built about 2,500 years before her time, and yet she lived closer to the 1969 moon landing, an astonishing fact that highlights the immense time span between ancient Egypt and modern history. 45. Octopuses possess 3 hearts. 2 pump blood to the gills, while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. When an octopus swims, the heart that delivers blood to the body stops beating, which is why these creatures prefer crawling over swimming, as it's less taxing on their bodies. 46. Wombats, native to Australia, are known for their unique cube-shaped poop. This unusual trait is due to their slow digestive process and the elasticity of their intestines, which shape the waste into perfect cubes. This helps the poop stay in place, which is important for marking their territory. 47. A day on Venus lasts 243 Earth days, while its year is only 225 Earth days. This makes Venus' day longer than its year, a mind-boggling fact when compared to the more familiar Earth. 48. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was a chilling -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit, which occurred at the Soviet Union's Vostok station in Antarctica in 1983. This extreme cold is due to the continent's high altitude and its position at the Earth's southern pole, where the sun rarely shines. 49. A single day on Mercury lasts about 176 Earth days, while its year only lasts about 88 Earth days. This means that a day on Mercury lasts more than twice as long as its year. 50. Butterflies have taste sensors on their feet, allowing them to taste plants by landing on them. This unique ability helps them determine whether a plant is suitable for laying eggs. The receptors on their feet are so sensitive that they can even detect certain chemicals in the plants they land on. Ever wondered what happens behind closed doors in science, history, and nature? Some facts are so strange and unsettling, they'll make you question everything you know. 1. The fear of being buried alive. In the 19th century, medical technology wasn't as advanced, and doctors often couldn't distinguish between coma, paralysis, or death. As a result, the fear of being buried alive was prevalent. To alleviate this, patented safety coffins were invented. These coffins included a system of bells or flags so that a person buried alive could alert those above ground to their predicament. 2. Deceased soldiers' teeth used for dentures. Before modern dentures were invented in the mid-1800s, people used teeth taken from the mouths of deceased soldiers. These teeth were boiled and cleaned before being used to create dentures for living people. The concept was macabre, but in the absence of modern dental practices, it was a common practice at the time. 3. King Tut's parents were siblings. DNA analysis of the mummified remains of King Tut revealed an unsettling fact. His parents were siblings. This incestuous union likely caused genetic disorders that contributed to Tut's health issues and early death. 4. Space cockroaches are more resilient. Cockroaches raised in space have been shown to be quicker, stronger, and tougher than their Earth counterparts. The conditions of space seem to trigger a supercharge in their abilities, making them even more terrifying. 5. Bill Skarsgård was born the year it was released. Bill Skarsgård, who portrayed Pennywise in the 2017 adaptation of Stephen King's It, was born in 1990, the exact same year that the original It miniseries aired on television. It seems like fate was setting him up to play the iconic villain. 6. The Devil's Toy Box in Louisiana. The Devil's Toy Box, a one-room cabin in Louisiana, became notorious after it was built as part of a Halloween attraction in 2014. People who entered reported disturbing mental and physical effects, with some even being hospitalized. The cabin was eventually shut down due to the extreme reactions it triggered in visitors. 7. Mammy Manor, the world's scariest haunted house. Mammy Manor in San Diego, California, holds the title of the world's scariest haunted house. Participants must undergo a full mental and physical evaluation before they can enter. Once inside, guests are bound, gagged, drenched in fake blood, and terrorized for hours on end. This extreme horror attraction is not for the faint of heart. 8. The hagfish, a scavenger from the deep. The hagfish is a jawless, eel-like creature that survives by feeding on the bodies of dead or dying sea creatures. It has 2 rows of keratin-based teeth that burrow into carcasses. While feeding, it secretes a thick, slimy substance to protect itself from predators. 9. The loa, or the eyeworm parasite. The loa, also known as the eyeworm, is a terrifying parasite that lives inside the skin or eye of its host. These parasites can survive for up to 10 to 15 years unless removed, living in their host's body while causing immense discomfort and health complications. 10. Chernobyl vodka. A vodka brand called Atomic was produced using grain from Ukraine and groundwater sourced just south of the Chernobyl nuclear plant. Despite claiming to be safe for consumption, its radioactive origin raises questions about the true safety of drinking it. 11. Temple of Rats in India. The Karni Mata Temple in India is home to approximately 25,000 black rats, which are revered by locals. These rats are considered sacred, and there are even a few white rats that are particularly holy. Some believe they are the physical manifestation of the goddess Karni Mata and her sons. 12. Spider rain, a creepy occurrence. Spider rain can occur when spiders climb to high places and shoot out silk in order to balloon to new locations. If enough spiders do this simultaneously, you could find yourself being showered with spiders, which is as creepy as it sounds. 13. Silent Hill's real-life inspiration. The inspiration for the eerie town of Silent Hill comes from a real place, Centralia, Pennsylvania. This once bustling town became hazardous after a fire ignited coal mines beneath the ground in 1962. The fire still burns to this day, making Centralia a ghost town. 14. Dry drowning, a silent killer. Dry drowning is a phenomenon where a person who inhales water can still suffocate and die hours later. Even if you cough it out, water can cause edema, swelling in the lungs that might not show up until hours later, potentially killing you in your sleep. 16. Organs know their own place. When surgeons perform an organ transplant, they don't need to reorganize the organs in the body. Remarkably, the body's organs seem to know their proper places and will naturally settle back into the correct order without any assistance. 17. Humans taste like pork in a blind test. The chemical composition of human tissue is similar to that of pigs, so if you were to taste human flesh and pork in a blind test, the average person wouldn't be able to distinguish between the two. 18. Our perception of reality. The truth is, we don't really experience the world as it is. We only know our perception of it. For instance, the sky isn't truly blue. Gases in our atmosphere scatter shorter wavelengths of light, and our eyes only see blue, though other colors are present in the spectrum. 19. Spiders are evolutionary masters. Spiders are some of the most evolutionarily advanced creatures on Earth. The more we try to kill them, the better they get at hiding, and they've even developed the ability to convince us we've killed them when we haven't. 20. Horned lizards shoot blood from their eyes. Horned lizards have a unique defense mechanism. They can squirt blood from their eyes. The blood can travel up to 3 feet, and it contains a noxious chemical that repels predators like dogs, wolves, and coyotes. 21. The case of Pate Gara. In 2010, Mexico was shocked by the case of 4-year-old Pate Gara. The young girl went missing, only to be discovered beneath her own mattress. What made the case more disturbing was the fact that interviews with her family were conducted while they were sitting on her bed. 22. Ancient pathogens in melting Arctic ice. As Arctic ice melts, scientists fear that it could release ancient pathogens that humanity has not encountered in thousands of years. These pathogens may result in plagues, wiping out large portions of the population. 23. Gamma blasts from stars could cause extinction. When a star explodes, it releases a gamma-ray burst that can wipe out everything in its path. If one were to occur near Earth, it could lead to extinction. The most frightening part is that there's no way to predict when or if this could happen. 24. Persian death penalty, scaphism. In ancient Persia, a horrifying method of execution called scaphism involved hollowing out a log to trap the victim, whose head and limbs were left exposed. They were force-fed milk and honey, leading to diarrhea and vomiting, while insects and animals slowly devoured their entrails. 25. Young blood transfusions for the rich. Some wealthy individuals have resorted to receiving blood transfusions from younger people, believing it helps reverse the aging process. The idea is that young blood contains higher levels of growth hormones, which supposedly aid in rejuvenation and healing. 26. 95% of the universe is unobservable. Only 5% of the universe is observable to us. The remaining 95% is made up of dark matter and dark energy, mysterious substances that are present everywhere, including right here on Earth. 27. You encounter killers more often than you think. The average person crosses paths with approximately 36 killers during their lifetime, assuming they live to 100. Many of these individuals will never be caught, and the killings may never be linked. 28. Figs depend on fig wasps for reproduction. Figs rely on fig wasps for reproduction. Wasps are born inside the figs, and the females crawl out to find a new fig in which they can lay their eggs. Next time you eat a fig, think about the creatures living inside it. 29. Cremation ashes are just ground up bones. The ashes you receive after a loved one is cremated are not the remains of the body, but ground up bone fragments. Everything else is incinerated during the process. 30. Human bite infections are deadly. If you're bitten by another human, you need to seek medical attention immediately. The human mouth contains a high concentration of deadly bacteria, and if these bacteria enter your bloodstream, they can be fatal. 31. Brains are like jello or toothpaste. Autopsy technicians have described human brains as having the consistency of firm jello, while a decomposing brain is more like toothpaste. This description offers a chilling look at how fragile the brain really is. 32. Microscopic mites live on your face. Your face is home to microscopic mites called demodex. These tiny creatures live in your pores and hair follicles, but you can't see them, nor can you easily get rid of them. 33. The electric chair was invented by a dentist. Alfred Porter Southwick, a dentist, invented the electric chair in the late 19th century. His invention was intended as a more humane form of execution compared to hanging or the gas chamber. 34. Teratomas, tumors with teeth, hair, and eyeballs. Teratomas are tumors that can grow anywhere in the body and may contain cells from different tissues. Some teratomas even grow hair, teeth, and occasionally even eyeballs. 35. Trusted apps ping your location. Many apps, including bank apps, social media, and food apps, regularly track and store your location. This data is then used to analyze your behavior and preferences, raising privacy concerns. 36. Frogs can grow eyes on their roofs. Frogs are capable of regrowing missing parts of their bodies. One of the most unsettling abilities is their capacity to grow eyes on the roof of their mouths after losing them. 37. The Black Knight Satellite Theory. Some conspiracy theorists believe an alien satellite, known as the Black Knight, has been orbiting Earth for thousands of years. It's allegedly been monitoring our planet for a long time, though there's no solid evidence to prove its existence. 38. Exorcisms have killed people. Numerous reports exist of people dying during exorcisms. Often performed by untrained individuals or religious figures, these exorcisms can lead to physical and psychological harm, and in extreme cases, fatalities. 39. Dead bodies are often auctioned off. In some places, dead bodies and their organs are auctioned off to medical researchers, despite the ethics surrounding their use. It's a disturbing fact that many bodies in scientific research labs may have been obtained without consent. 40. The dark web hosts unimaginable content. The dark web is notorious for being a marketplace for illegal activities, including drugs, weapons, and even disturbing content such as snuff films. Authorities continue to crack down on these sites, but they remain active. 41. Vampire bats drink blood. Vampire bats are real, and they feed exclusively on blood. They land on animals, making tiny incisions with their teeth to drink their blood. Their saliva contains an anticoagulant that prevents the blood from clotting, allowing them to drink freely. 42. The dangers of autonomous cars. While autonomous cars are promoted as a safer option, tests have shown that they still make fatal errors. These cars are still not perfect and may lead to unforeseen risks, potentially becoming involved in accidents due to unaccounted for situations. 43. Scientists have grown miniature human brains. Scientists have successfully grown human brain tissue in labs, which may eventually lead to further advances in neurobiology. However, there are disturbing ethical implications when these cells exhibit human-like traits. 44. Wasps can find their way back home. Wasps can remember landmarks, including the entrance to their nests. They use this ability to navigate back home, which means that if one gets lost, it can find its way back to its home with precision. 45. Black widow spiders keep their mates close. Female black widow spiders often kill their mates after mating. This process ensures that their mates don't leave and ensures the female gets the full nutrients from the male before his demise. 46. Some people have multiple personalities. Some people suffer from dissociative identity disorder, previously known as multiple personality disorder. These individuals have distinct personalities that can control their bodies at different times, sometimes without their knowledge. 47. The skin can continue to grow after death. While the rest of the body decays, the skin may continue to grow after death. This phenomenon, known as post-mortem skin growth, results from the body's continued cellular activity in a decomposing state. 48. The self-destructing paper. In the world of espionage, there are self-destructing papers used to ensure sensitive information is destroyed after use. Once exposed to air or heat, these papers will dissolve into an unreadable pulp. 49. There are hidden rooms in pyramids. The Great Pyramid of Giza is thought to contain hidden chambers that we've never been able to access. Modern technology and scans reveal unknown spaces inside the pyramid, leaving their purpose and contents a mystery. 50. Psychopaths are wired differently. Brain scans of psychopaths show differences in the amygdala, the region responsible for fear and emotional responses. This difference could explain why psychopaths often exhibit a complete lack of empathy. Get ready to learn some unbelievable things about the world around us. Let's dive in. Fact 1. The most effective hunter with a 95% success rate is the dragonfly. This is because the dragonfly's optic nerve connects directly to its wings, allowing it to react incredibly quickly, often before the prey even realizes it's been targeted. Dragonflies are the ninjas of the insect world. Fact 2. A second is called a second because it is the second division of an hour by 60, with the first division being a minute. A simple fact, but a crucial one in understanding time measurement. Fact 3. Sounds from far away seem louder when it's going to rain. This is because sound travels better through water in the air, so as rain approaches, the water content in the air amplifies sound. So that distant train you can barely hear might sound much louder before a storm. Fact 4. The Himalayas grow about 1 centimeter, 0.394 inches, every year. This is due to the tectonic plates that are constantly rising and pushing the mountain range higher. Fact 5. When hummingbirds sleep, they slow down their hearts to the point where they are nearly dead. It's a survival mechanism called torpor, where their body shuts down to conserve energy. Fact 6. There are monkeys in Indonesia that have adapted to the modern world for their benefit. These monkeys run a ransom market by stealing phones, purses, and video cameras from tourists and refusing to return them unless given a cracker in exchange. Fact 7. Army ants will create balls during high water floods. These balls, made up of thousands of ants, will roll and float, allowing every ant to breathe as they form a living raft. Fact 8. Squids have donut-shaped brains that go around their throats. If a squid swallows a piece of food too large, it can compress its brain, potentially causing brain damage or even death. Fact 9. Chocolate, or more specifically cocoa beans, is a poison to many animals. Dogs, cats, and even birds can die from eating chocolate, as the compound theobromine, derived from cocoa, is toxic to them, like cyanide, but without the dramatic flair. Fact 10. The cracking sound a bullwhip makes when properly wielded is actually a small sonic boom. The end of the whip, called the cracker, moves faster than the speed of sound, which is why it produces that distinct crack. Fact 11. The last day that all humans were living on Earth together was November 2nd, 2000. Since then, there has always been someone aboard the International Space Station, marking the first time in human history that humanity has been split between Earth and space. Fact 12. Dogs can tell time by smell. They have an incredible sense of smell, with more than 200 million smell receptors, compared to humans' 5 million. They can detect how long you've been gone based on how much your scent has dissipated. Fact 13. When you sense something spicy on your tongue, it's not a taste, but rather a sensation of pain. Your mouth perceives the capsaicin in spicy foods as a burning pain, not a flavor. Fact 14. The main reason soccer balls were originally black and white was to improve visibility on black and white television. The design helped people at home clearly see the ball against the grass, which made broadcasting games more efficient. Fact 15. The chemical compound used to make fake banana flavor is the same compound that honeybees used as an alarm pheromone. So, if you're near a beehive and you suddenly smell banana, you might want to run. Fact 16. Vultures urinate on their legs and feet to cool off on hot days, a process known as urohydrosis. Their urine also helps kill any bacteria or parasites they pick up from walking on dead animals or carcasses. Fact 17 to 12 people have walked on the moon, while only 3 people have ventured to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans. Fact 18. Penguins have a special gland above their eye that converts salt water into fresh water, helping them survive in the harsh, saline conditions of the ocean. Fact 19. Jupiter is so large that it doesn't orbit the Sun by itself. Instead, the Sun and Jupiter orbit a point just above the Sun's surface, making it act more like a binary star system. Fact 20. Sloths are so lazy that they often don't go looking for mates. Instead, a female sloth will sit in a tree and scream, waiting for a male to come and mate with her. Fact 21. Bees actually have 5 eyes in total, 2 complex eyes, like a fly's, and 3 simple eyes, like a spider's. These additional eyes help them navigate and process light in their environment. Fact 22. Iguanas have a third rudimentary eye located on top of their heads. This eye can detect changes in light and is thought to help them detect predators from above. Fact 23. There is a plant in Australia called the junkie or the suicide plant. Its heart-shaped leaves are covered in fur-like, poisonous trichomes that lodge into your skin and cause excruciating, lasting pain. The poison can linger for up to a year. and it's considered one of the most painful plant stings you can encounter. Fact 24. There's a species of jellyfish called Turritopsis dohrnii that is theoretically immortal. When faced with stress or injury, it can revert back to its younger polyp stage through a process called transdifferentiation, potentially doing this indefinitely unless attacked or infected. Fact 25. Squirrels can die from stress. When they become overly stressed, they retreat to a safe location, freeze in place, and wait for hours, sometimes even over a day, until their stress levels return to normal. Fact 26. Elephants can detect water underground. Using their tusks, feet, and trunks, elephants are capable of digging for water that is buried beneath the ground, often providing water to other animals nearby. Fact 27. Moths experience love at first whiff. Female moths release pheromones that signal to male moths that they are ready to mate. Male moths can travel miles based solely on the scent. Fact 28. Dogs do love us just as much as we love them. A study of their brain waves shows that their pleasure center lights up more when they see their owner compared to when they see another dog. It's proof that they consider us just as significant as other dogs. Fact 29. Domestic kittens need to stay with their mother for at least 4 months for proper education. If they don't, they're more likely to develop behavioral problems and might not live as long. Fact 30. A kangaroo can get pregnant again 1 to 3 days after giving birth. The mother can pause the development of the embryo until the previous joey has left the pouch or died, effectively keeping a backup baby ready to go. Fact 31. The insect with the longest lifespan is the termite queen, which can live for up to 50 years, and some estimates say even up to 100 years. Fact 32. During the Australian wildfires, wombats extended their burrows to help other animals survive. They even expanded their entryways to accommodate larger animals like sheep. Fact 33. Newborn bat rays and other types of stingrays are born with their fins wrapped around them, almost like a burrito, providing them with extra protection in their early life. Fact 34. Occasionally, a penguin will walk away from its colony and head off alone into the Antarctic wilderness, towards certain death. These penguins are acting almost like zombies, with scientists unable to stop them even when they try. Fact 35. When antelopes are being chased by a predator, some will randomly hop up above the grass to confuse the predator. This tactic helps the herd escape because the predator spends more energy chasing after visible targets, allowing the rest of the herd to escape. Fact 36. Dogs fake sneeze while playing to let others know they're just having fun and not being aggressive. Fact 37. Honeybees can recognize human faces. Research has shown that honeybees are capable of recognizing human faces, a skill that is crucial for their survival as it helps them differentiate between flowers, landmarks, and other vital surroundings. They achieve this by using a similar method to human face recognition, processing a wide array of visual stimuli to identify individuals. Fact 38. A single strand of spider silk is stronger than steel. Despite its delicate appearance, spider silk is incredibly strong. In fact, it is about 5 times stronger than steel of the same thickness. Its lightness and strength make it an incredible material for scientists, who are exploring ways to replicate spider silk for use in medicine and engineering. Fact 39. Water can boil and freeze at the same time. This phenomenon, known as the triple point, occurs when temperature and pressure are just right for the coexistence of all 3 phases of water, gas, liquid, and solid simultaneously. It's a rare event, but when it occurs, it demonstrates some of the most fascinating aspects of physics. Fact 40. Sharks existed before trees. Sharks have been swimming in the oceans for more than 400 million years, which is around 100 million years before trees first appeared on Earth. These ancient creatures have survived mass extinctions and remain relatively unchanged compared to many species on Earth today. Fact 41. The Eiffel Tower can grow taller in the summer. Made of iron, the Eiffel Tower expands in the heat of summer. The metal expands by about 6 inches, 15 centimeters, during the hotter months, which means the iconic structure grows taller as the weather heats up. Fact 42. Bananas are radioactive. Bananas contain potassium, and a small percentage of potassium is the radioactive isotope potassium-40. While the level of radiation is minuscule and harmless, it's still enough to make bananas one of the few foods that can be considered naturally radioactive. Fact 43. Your stomach gets a new lining every few days. The harsh environment in your stomach, full of digestive acids, would damage most tissues, but your stomach constantly renews its lining. It creates a fresh new lining every 3 to 4 days to protect itself from the acids that help break down food. Fact 44. The shortest war in history lasted 38 to 45 minutes. The Anglo-Zanzibar War, fought between the United Kingdom and the Sultanate of Zanzibar in 1896, holds the record for the shortest war in history. The conflict ended with a swift victory for the British. Fact 45. Cows have best friends and get stressed when separated. Research has found that cows have complex social structures and can form close bonds with certain individuals. If separated from their best friends, cows can experience stress, showing signs of anxiety and restlessness. Fact 46. Wombat poop is cube-shaped. Wombats produce cubic poop, which helps prevent the feces from rolling away. The unique shape is created by the animal's intestines, which are unusually long, giving them the time to form the solid blocks. Fact 47. There's enough gold in Earth's core to coat the planet. Earth's core is believed to contain enough gold to coat the entire surface of the planet with around 1.5 feet, 0.5 meters, of the precious metal. While it remains trapped deep beneath the surface, the amount is staggeringly large. Fact 48. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Sloths are known for being slow and sleepy, but they also have an extraordinary ability to hold their breath for up to 40 minutes underwater. Dolphins, in comparison, typically hold their breath for only around 10 minutes. Fact 49. Sharks can detect a single drop of blood in an Olympic-sized swimming pool. Sharks have an incredibly acute sense of smell. They can detect very small amounts of blood, as little as 1 drop in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, which is key for locating their prey in the ocean. Fact 50. You can hear a blue whale's heartbeat from over 2 miles away. The heartbeat of a blue whale, the largest animal on Earth, is so strong and deep that it can be detected from a distance of more than 2 miles underwater. Their hearts can weigh up to 1,500 pounds, and they beat around 10 times per minute. Fact 51. The longest hiccuping spree lasted 68 years. Charles Osborne, an American man, experienced the longest known case of hiccups, lasting for 68 years. He began hiccuping in 1922 and didn't stop until 1990, hiccuping up to 40 times a minute. And there you have it, minus 51 mind-blowing facts that you probably didn't know before. From animals with bizarre survival strategies to the mind-bending physics of celestial bodies, the world is truly full of wonders. Whether it's a jellyfish that defies death or a dragonfly that can out-hunt most predators, the mysteries of the world are endless. What's the most surprising fact to you? Want to uncover the hidden truths behind the world's most famous landmarks and events? Stick around, because we got 50 unbelievable facts that'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. 1. Election Day was chosen for farmers. In 1845, U.S. Election Day was set as the first Tuesday in November. This decision was made to accommodate 19th century farmers who had to travel long distances to polling places. The timing was chosen after the fall harvest, but before the harsh winter snow, ensuring they could make it to the polls without missing Sunday church. 2. Will Smith and Adam Sandler's massive box office earnings. From 2000 to 2015, Movies that either Will Smith or Adam Sandler starred in or produced grossed $3.7 billion. Together, they generated 20% of Sony Pictures' domestic gross, contributing 23% to the studio's profits. No other studio at the time was as reliant on just two actors. 3. Stalin's daughter defected to the U.S. Svetlana Aluyeva, Joseph Stalin's daughter, defected to the United States in the 1960s. During her time in America, she became involved in a cult led by the widow of famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. 4. The red panda's original name. The red panda was the first animal to be called panda when it was discovered in 1825. Nearly 50 years later, after the discovery of a similar bamboo-eating, black and white creature, the giant panda was named. Due to its growing popularity, the red panda was later reclassified as the lesser panda. 5. How many licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? A group of engineering students from Purdue University developed a licking machine and determined it took 364 licks to reach the center of a Tootsie Pop. A mechanical licker from the University of Michigan took 411 licks, while humans needed between 144 and 252 licks to reach the center. 6. Canadian Prime Minister's official residence is empty. The official residence of Canada's Prime Minister has been unoccupied since 2015. Crews are renovating the building, removing hazardous materials, and updating mechanical, electrical, and heating systems. 7. Love letter disposal in the Victorian era. In the Victorian era, it was common to burn or return love letters when relationships ended. This practice was meant to avoid them being used as blackmail or to protect the honor of those involved. 8. Gerber's attempt to market adult baby food. In the 1970s, Gerber tried to market baby food for adults, targeting college students and young adults. This bizarre attempt, however, never took off and has since been forgotten by many. 9. Tintin's movement in classic comics. In the classic cartoon strip Tintin, Tintin is always depicted moving left to right, while his opponents typically move from right to left. In his adventure Cigars of the Pharaoh, the rule was broken and had to be redrawn to maintain this consistency. 10. Humans have a faint glow. Humans emit a very faint glow that can be detected by certain cameras. This light is about 1,000 times weaker than what the human eye can detect, but it is a real phenomenon caused by metabolic processes. 11. The Swiss Constitution's American influence. The Swiss Constitution of 1848 modeled itself on the U.S. Constitution, adopting fundamental rights and the separation of powers. However, rather than a single president, the Swiss opted for a 7-member council to balance regional power. 12. Austin Powers' theme song was written by Quincy Jones. The theme song of Austin Powers was written by the legendary Quincy Jones. Additionally, his hit Soul Bossa Nova was composed in about 20 minutes, showcasing his creative genius. 13. Boltzmann brane theory. The Boltzmann brane theory suggests that, given infinite time and space, any arrangement of atoms is just as likely as any other. This means that a fully formed human brain with memories could spontaneously form in space. 14. Train derailments in the U.S. On average, 13,300 trains derail every year in the United States. The peak occurred in 1978 with 9,400 derailments, highlighting the safety concerns in the railway industry. 15. George Washington and Ben Franklin disagreed with the Boston Tea Party. Both George Washington and Ben Franklin were opposed to the Boston Tea Party. Franklin even offered to pay the British back for the destroyed tea, demonstrating his pragmatic approach to political disagreements. 16. Human hair loss linked to emotional communication. One theory suggests that human hair loss, particularly on the face and genitals, may have evolved to enhance emotional communication. By shedding fur, Humans became better at expressing and perceiving nonverbal cues through changes in facial color. 17. Pedestrian deaths in Los Angeles. In 2023, every 50 hours, a pedestrian was killed in a car-related accident in Los Angeles. The year before, the number was every 66 hours, making LA the second deadliest U.S. city for pedestrians. 18. Max Martin's hit records. Swedish songwriter and producer Max Martin is second only to Paul McCartney in the number of #1 hit singles written. His incredible career has contributed significantly to shaping the pop music landscape. 19. Romans used human urine as mouthwash. In ancient Rome, human urine was used as a mouthwash due to its ammonia content. It was believed to help with teeth whitening and stain removal, an early form of dental hygiene. 20. The Mona Lisa stolen in 1911. In 1911, the Mona Lisa was stolen from the Louvre Museum by an Italian named Vincenzo Peruggia. It took 2 years to recover the iconic painting, and initially, the museum assumed it had been removed for photography. 21. Leonardo da Vinci's lack of formal education. Leonardo da Vinci, the quintessential Renaissance man, had no standard scholarly education. He only taught himself some Latin and didn't study mathematics formally until he was 40. His approach to learning was unconventional. 22. Genericide. When trademarks lose their rights. Genericide occurs when a trademark loses its rights because it becomes the generic term for a product. A famous example is the term escalator, which was once a brand name but became synonymous with moving stairs, causing the trademark to expire. 23. William Hill lost millions betting on Leicester City. In 2015, the English sports betting site William Hill offered 5,000 to 1 odds on Leicester City winning the Premier League. When Leicester defied the odds and claimed the title, William Hill lost $3 million, prompting them to never offer odds higher than 1,000 to 1 again. 24. Romans created tombs for their dogs. Ancient Romans built tombs for their dogs, complete with epitaphs to honor their pets. One inscription read, "I am in tears while carrying you to your last resting place, as much as I rejoiced when bringing you home in my own hands 15 years ago." 25. Conspiracy theory about LaVine's death. A conspiracy theory suggests that NBA star Zach LaVine died in 2003 and was replaced by a body double. The theory claims he faked his death, though there is no credible evidence supporting this idea. 26. U.S. military casualties in World War II. Excluding the Civil War, World War II had the highest percentage of U.S. military fatalities. Approximately 2.5% of the 16.1 million Americans who served in World War II lost their lives. This percentage was closely followed by the Vietnam War, with 2.16% of those who served dying in combat. 27. Permanent daylight savings time reversed in 1974. In 1974, President Nixon briefly enacted Permanent Daylight Savings Time, DST, to save energy. However, it was quickly reversed after 1 year, as people disliked the changes to their daily schedules. 28. Margarine's failed health marketing. Margarine was once marketed as a healthier and cheaper alternative to butter. U.S. manufacturers even added yellow coloring to make it look more appetizing. However, studies later showed that margarine's hydrogenated oils, or trans fats, were worse for heart health than butter's natural fats. 29. John Darwin's faked death. John Darwin, a British man, faked his death in 2002 to escape mounting debts. He remained undetected for 5 years until he resurfaced in 2007, claiming amnesia to obtain a passport. His plot fell apart when a photo of him and his wife, taken years after his death, emerged. 30. Ancient Greek trireme still in operation. Greece's naval force operates an ancient Greek trireme as an official commissioned military ship. This historical vessel, originally used by ancient Greeks, is still part of the nation's naval fleet. 31. Animals receiving degrees. Several animals have been awarded degrees, exposing fraudulent activities in degree mills. One instance involved a cat that received an MBA and achieved a 3.5 GPA, shedding light on the absurdity of degree mills. 32. Illinois officially had American as its language. From 1923 to 1969, Illinois had American as its official state language. This little-known fact highlights the state's unique history and the sometimes quirky legal decisions made throughout history. 33. The Rules of Attraction DVD Commentary. Bret Easton Ellis recorded a commentary track for the Rules of Attraction under the influence of illegal substances and tequila. When the DVD was released, however, the commentary track was deemed unusable and replaced with one from comedian Carrot Top, who had no connection to the film. 34. The Triassic Period's Constant Rain. During the Triassic period, which occurred about 250 million years ago, it is believed that it rained continuously for 1 million years, creating a remarkably wet climate on Earth. 35. Jupiter's magnetic field. Jupiter's magnetic field is unique, with one large north pole and 2 south poles. One of these south poles is located directly near the equator, while the other is situated in an isolated patch, making the planet's magnetic field distinct from other planets. 36. John Williams and Star Wars music legacy. John Williams composed his first symphonic score for Star Wars, which became a pivotal moment in film music. This iconic score helped usher in a new age of symphonic film scoring and led to the popularization of film scores being sold separately. 37. Stanford University's smart toilet. Researchers at Stanford University developed a smart toilet capable of reading your anus like a fingerprint. The toilet monitors the health of your urine and stool, potentially offering insights into a person's health that could revolutionize medical diagnostics. 38. Film editor's late career achievement. Academy Award-winning editor Anne V. Coates, best known for her work on Lawrence of Arabia, edited 50 Shades of Grey at the age of 89. Showcasing that talent and creativity can remain sharp into one's later years. 39. Moon landing's 50th anniversary. It has been more than 50 years since anyone last set foot on the moon. The entire period of human landings on the lunar surface lasted just 3.5 years, highlighting how quickly the moon landings became a distant memory in human history. 40. Singers who stuttered. Many famous singers who once stuttered have overcome the condition while singing. Notable examples include Bill Withers, Carly Simon, Ed Sheeran, Kendrick Lamar, and even Elvis Presley. Their stories are a testament to the power of music in overcoming personal challenges. 41. Illegal to share your ballot. In some countries, including the United States, it's illegal to share a photo of your ballot. This rule is designed to maintain the privacy and integrity of the voting process, ensuring that votes cannot be influenced by outside factors. 42. Bookstores selling books you can't buy. Many bookstores create elaborate displays with books that are not for sale. These displays can act as art pieces or marketing stunts, drawing attention to physical stores and giving the illusion of an exclusive selection. 43. The end of the gold standard. The US dollar was once backed by gold until President Nixon ended the gold standard in 1971. The move to fiat currency sent shockwaves through the global economy and altered the way nations conducted monetary policy forever. 44. Christopher Columbus's hidden letters. Christopher Columbus left behind a number of letters documenting his voyage, some of which have been hidden for centuries. These documents, detailing Columbus's beliefs about his discoveries, contain groundbreaking views on the world's geography. 45. Mount Rushmore's additional sculpting plans. Originally, sculptor Gutzon Borglum had grander plans for Mount Rushmore. He wanted to carve out more than just the faces, including the bodies and the presidents holding documents. 46. China's one-child policy. From 1979 to 2015, China enforced a one-child policy to control population growth. While the policy is now relaxed, its legacy has led to demographic shifts with fewer young workers entering the economy. 47. White House has a movie theater. The White House features its own in-house movie theater. The theater has been used by presidents and their families to screen new films, much like a regular movie theater. 48. Benjamin Franklin invented swim fins. Benjamin Franklin invented swim fins in 1717, which were designed for hand use rather than feet. These early flippers were crafted out of wood and helped Franklin become an avid swimmer. 49. The Eiffel Tower's height changes. The Eiffel Tower's height can change by up to 6 inches due to the expansion and contraction of the metal, depending on the temperature. This means it grows in the summer and shrinks in the winter. 50. Bananagrams was inspired by Scrabble. Bananagrams, the popular word game, was invented by a woman named Rena Nathanson after playing Scrabble with her family. The idea was to create a faster-paced, more portable alternative to Scrabble. That's a wrap on today's mind-blowing facts. Which one took you by surprise? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more jaw-dropping revelations.